Hello Commanders, how's it going? This is the Life Giver, and in today's video we're going to be doing some builds for the Orochi. So at the moment, as you can see in my hangar, I have some Avengers, almost forgot the name there, the Avengers on the Orochi, and this setup is pretty effective because the weapons are leveled up to level 10. So I know most of you probably have got low level builds. So this video is mostly focused on the low level builds. I'll try to use matching weapons where I can, but certain things like the Glory and the Ember I haven't got two of, so I can't really test those, but I might try a mix up with those two together. But for the first test we'll jump in with these Avengers. I haven't got any pilot skills to improve the Avengers, like let's just go to change skill. And the skills I'm talking about for the weapons are sharpshooter and speed shooter. So sharpshooter will basically mean most of the bullets are on target, a bit like the shotguns. And then speed shooter means the spin up speed of the Avengers is a lot faster. So those are two pilot skills that you really want to make this build a bit more effective. So let's just jump into a quick battle and let's see. Well, let me just show you what I've done. So surprisingly, this setup was quite fun to use. I didn't think it would be effective because I haven't got the pilot skills and they are Avengers, but they are leveled up to level 10, whereas my other weapons are pretty low level. So let's just jump in straight in with the Orochi, and as you can see, they look pretty cool. We're gonna go for this beacon here. So the main strategy with the Orochi is basically to, well, most of the time with this build, people brawl with this robot, meaning that you go in point blank, offload all your ammo, use your ability, which is a skateboard or skating, and you get stealth. And the idea is to basically use your ability, offload your weapons, go hide, recharge, and repeat. Otherwise this bot is quite squishy. So what I'll do is, what I really want to do is get into the action, so I don't want to mess with that robot, but let's try to see if we can. Right, so we have a Ares who's activated his ability. I'm still in stealth, so hopefully I can take him out. So with this setup you want to go close as possible if you haven't got the two skills. So as you can see, I think these players are pretty low level. So use my ability there again, get some stealth, and this little monkey man is using his healing. So what I need to do now is basically get away because I'm in danger. I'm going to heal up here and hopefully activate my stealth again. There we go. So we'll get away from the heat of the battle, and luckily we got away from that Mercury. I think I missed his ability where he jumps and can cause some damage. So now he's reloading, I suppose. We'll go in for another attack again with the Avengers. I'm going to activate my stealth ability, and he has activated phase shift, so he might come for me with a drop. What I need to do is get away from him. So I'm trying to heal up, and I'm dead. So this build wasn't too bad. It's pretty fun to use, to be honest, because the Avengers, the ammos last a long time. So while you use your ability, you're most likely not going to run out of ammo while you're in stealth, whereas some of the other weapons you might run out of ammo quite quickly. But let's try a different setup. Okay, so with this new setup I'm using the Glaciers. I've got a Sinister Glacier. It looks a bit off, but these are the two weapons that were the same level 7. We'll see what we can do. So with the Glaciers we have a range of 300 meters, so fairly close. But like I said, with the Orochi you want to brawl with it depending on the weapons that you have. So most of these weapons with the Avengers and the Glaciers need to get pretty close. And the great thing about the Glaciers is that they have a freeze effect, so they freeze the enemy, and once you freeze the enemy will get more damage once you keep firing. So let's see what we can do with this setup. So this setup might be pretty good because it's a burst setup where you basically unload all the rockets in one hit. So let's jump in straight in with the Orochi and the Glacier setup. I've not actually tried this setup before, I normally run the Devastators, I think, on this, the new weapons, which are pretty cool and pretty fun. So let's go for this enemy on the left hand side. Or not. Let's freeze this shell. So we're trying to freeze him. We've frozen him now, and do a bit of damage. Activate my ability. I want to get away from him. So I think the best thing really is to sort of hang back a bit and let the rockets reload a little bit, and then just fire again, so you get more rockets in, and hopefully you get more ability effect, I think, with more rockets. So a good strategy is to unload, hide, reload quickly, and then unload your weapons again, so you can freeze the enemy as quickly as possible. So the Glaciers really force you to play in a different way, where you have to you can't just go in brawling like a oh, got a heal here. I'm taking damage because this teammate is hitting. Oh, so we've got a Scorpion on my case here. I have to activate my ability to get stealth mode in to save me. But let's have a look. There's another shell who's got his ability charged. There we go. So we're doing quite a lot of damage to him. Or that might be my teammate with his shotguns. Okay, cool, we've got the kill there. That's brilliant. I'm going to heal up. There's a lot of shells in this game, so I reckon we're playing going pretty high level people. So again, we have a Sonic equipped Fenrir. So we're going to die here. Not a good idea. Not a good position to be in. So that was the Glaciers. It wasn't too bad. I think I prefer having the Avengers in terms of fun. But the benefit of the Glacier weapon is that it freezes the enemy, which slows them down, and you can cause more damage. So let's roll in with the next setup. Okay, so for this setup we have the Avalanches on this Orochi, and you can see the level 9, so fairly leveled up, but obviously nothing compared to the Mark II. But as I said, most of these weapons are low level, so aimed at the low level players. So the thing about the Avalanche is that they have a 500 meter range, which is ideal for distance shooting, I suppose. So these weapons are my favourite on my Bulwark. But let's give it a go on the Orochi and see what we can do. I've tried this before, to be honest, and I didn't really like it. But let's see what happens. So very similar to the Glaciers, where you sort of want to offload your entire clip and then find cover and reload. But the great thing is that we have a bit of range with these weapons, so it's 500 meters, so we could, you know, stay behind cover from quite a bit of distance and do some damage. So let's go in. I might activate my skateboard or skate, but let's I think there's a blitz down there. Let's do some damage. Right, so activated my stealth mode, and most of my shots are off target, and I've fallen into the acid there. So, but you saw there that blitz when he activated his ability, he missed all my shots. So that leech is leeching onto his teammate, so I'm not going to fire at him. But let's activate my stealth before that blitz comes in. You can see we're offloading quite a lot of rockets here, and his drone has kicked in with the shield. But okay, we have a shell. So I have to heal up here. I'm in danger now. I'm going to activate my stealth quickly and find some cover behind here. So as I said, fairly good distance with these weapons, 500 meters, so I can shoot from here and do some damage hopefully. But there's a blitz there that's stalking me. But let's do some. We can activate stealth again. I love this robot. That's the great thing about the robot, is the ability that it has stealth, so you can get out some tricky situations. So let's do some damage on this side. I think that's an Ares, I think. Looks like an Ares. No, it's a Ravana. Okay, so we can get closer now to the leech. So I'm going to activate my ability. We're going to try to outflank him on the left hand side here. go. Let's do some damage. Let's get that last stand if possible. I'm gonna heal up. Just want to conserve my health, activate my stealth, and kill him, take him out. So this is a pretty good setup if you enjoy shooting from a range. And well, as you probably know, my favourite playstyle is shooting from far. And we have an Ojon there who might have a... Ooh, he's got a quantum radar. That means he hasn't got the pilot. I forgot his name. But let's stalk this Ojon. Okay, so he's in cover. He's got a 30-second reload. So let's activate the skates. Get in there pretty quick. So I reckon I've got another 20 seconds to take him out. Got a heal, but he has got some leveled up Nucleons on his bot. And I don't think I can take him out. Can I activate stuff? Come on, here we go. But here's... the second Ojon there had the pilot, which gives the Ojon sort of quantum radar when it takes flight. So that setup wasn't too bad. I might continue trying it, but bear in mind, the Avalanches were leveled up pretty high, level 9. So that's not bad. I'd probably rate that as my second favourite setup. But let's try a different setup. Okay, so with this build, I have the Calamity. So again, a bit of a mix and match. I've got a Dragon Calamity, looks a bit whack, but suits this Megalodon Orochi pretty cool. But again, level 7, pretty low level. Let's see what we can do with this setup. So the Calamities are electricity. They have a 600 meter range. The closer you are to the enemy, the more damage you do. So let's jump straight in. And not to forget to mention that there is a lock speed. So you can see that takes time to lock onto the enemy. There's a scorpion there. I just want to... oh no, it's a leech. You can go back a bit. Okay, so let's activate stealth again. Use my ability too much there, but we can see that with the Calamities, it does take time to lock onto the enemy, whereas the Avalanche is basically just you are just shitting and hoping to hit the enemy. But the great thing about the Calamities is that you melt the player more the closer you are to them. So over here I'm doing more damage to him, so to get away from that, Pulsar Ravana, yep. And we have an incoming hawk. That's what we're going to do. It's going to shoot on him now. So you can see I lost my lock there, but I regained lock pretty quickly because I was locked into the enemy behind him. So I'm going to activate my stealth ability here and start firing. Here we go. So again, we're pretty close here, and we are doing some good damage to this bot. Right. So the great thing about the Calamities is that, you know, 600 meter range. So if you don't like brawling, you can always shoot from a pretty safe distance, but bear in mind you're doing less damage. So the closer you are, the more damage you do to the enemy robot. And the great thing about the Calamity is that it's a pretty quick reload of 5 or 6 seconds there, whereas some weapons take longer. But here, let's burn this Ravana here. Okay, so it's coming for me. We're just gonna keep targeting. Hopefully I can activate my ability again pretty soon. There we go. Cool, there we go. So you can't lock me down with the pulsars. I'm reloading now, so hopefully once I'm out of my stuff I can kill him. Okay, cool, my team took him out. So okay, so I'm gonna die here. So I mean, that wasn't too bad. I'm guessing the higher the level of the Calamities, the more damage you will do. So I think with this setup, it's not too bad. The only trouble is that the lock speed does take longer, but you can get a pilot skill to improve the lock speed, I think by up to 50 or 75%, which is fairly, I think it's 50%. I have the skill on my Cerberus because I had the Zeus on that robot. So it wasn't too bad. So my takeaway here is that you probably want to level up the Calamities quite a lot, and you probably want to get in as close. So I mean, the good thing though with the Calamities is that once you're locked into the enemy, and presuming that you can maintain lock, so you are within its view. So for example, you want to stay close to the enemy and in your line of fire, so you don't use that lock. And by doing that, you are going to get 100% damage to that robot. and given the fact that you can activate the skate ability on the Orochi, you can probably run around in circles while maintaining the lock with your weapon and to do some damage. I've seen some dash robots do that quite effectively. So 2 minds. I don't think it will be my daily driver again, but let's try a different setup. Okay, so for this setup I have the Redeemers, which are level 8, and I've tried this setup before. It's pretty cool, and I still prefer a different setup, which I'll talk about. I'll set that for last. But the great thing about the Redeemer is that the reload time is pretty low, 5 seconds, but it's a 350 meter range, so you are sort of forcing yourself to kind of brawl. But let's see what we can do. So get into a quick battle again and jump in straight with the Orochi and see how much fun we can have with this setup. Okay, it's a bit slow for loading, but here we go. So it's a beacon map. Let's jump in straight with the Orochi, and the thing with the Redeemers is that you need to basically be on point with your aim. So you need to be really good to make sure that you are aiming and hitting the enemy as much as possible, because the problem with the Orochi is that once you level it up, it can be pretty fast when you activate the ability, which may cause you to miss some shots. But you have a Ravana incoming, so let's do some damage there. Okay, so let's see if we can beat up this blitz over here. So you can see you've got quite a lot of ammo in this clip before I reload. What I want to do is figure out what's around me, so need to get out of some danger zone. Let's try to go for this blitz again. There we go. So we've activated the ability, we're pretty close. Hopefully he doesn't use his ability. There we go, killed him, so it's not too bad. Let's activate my ability again. Got Ravana here. What I need to do really is I need to hide now from this Ravana. Looks like we have a dash bot, a Strider, so here we go. Take him out. He's got his quantum radar. And now I'm in danger zone because we have Ravana incoming there. Let's heal up a bit. So, dash in a second. I want to go for this walk over here. Oh, there we go. We got a here. Look, there's a fellow Orochi with the same setup. You can see that I'm trying to guess the aim with the Redeemers there. So he's coming in there for some wallops. Let's go back. Let's see if we can, get his last stand. So as I said, look, the Redeemers, because the Orochi can move quite fast. Okay, cool, we got that kill there. Gonna heal up quickly again. But I need to unclip and reload, so hopefully I'll get my second ability charged by the time I'm ready to get away. Well, there's a Scorpion there, we need to do some damage to the Scorpion. Ah, okay, so that wasn't too bad. I mean, playing with the robot isn't too bad, but our team lost it, probably because I got distracted with this robot. So it's a pretty fun setup. It forces you to take, just like the Glaciers, you basically want to unclip or unload all your weapons, all your ammo, and then get back into cover. So let your ability recharge and let your weapons recover, and then just rinse and repeat. So that's a pretty fun build, but again, it's a short range build with 350 meters, and can be a bit tricky if the enemy, I suppose, are pretty fast in front of you, which you can basically lose your target and miss your shots. But generally speaking, that's a pretty effective build for the Orochi. So I think, just kind of summarize for now very briefly before I've got a couple of more setups to do, but with the Orochi, I think you're better off going for closer ranged weapons and trying to brawl to take out some bots. It's not really a sniper bot, although I have done the sniping before from a range. But I think it's definitely the Orochi is definitely built for you'll have more fun brawling, I reckon. But let's try a different build now. Okay, so for this setup we have the Thermites, and the Thermites have a range of 350 meters, and you have to have lock on the enemy before you can fire. So I guess with their setup, it's basically about staying back and firing when the opportunity presents itself. So let's jump into a quick battle. Let's just see if it's recording. Yes, it is. This is my take 2 actually, because the previous recording never recorded. But let's quick jump in with the Orochi. So with this setup, you basically have to lock onto the enemy before you can fire. There is a skill you can get through your pilot to increase the lock speed, which also works for other weapons that require lock, like the Calamity, for instance, and the Zeus cannon. But okay, cool. I think this guy wants me to go on this side. Unfortunately, I don't know how successful this maneuver will be. Right, so we have two O-Johns approaching with the possibility of having a Yang Li pilot, which gives them quantum radar, and that basically bypasses my ability. So yeah, okay, so I need to hide here. So again, with this setup, I have to basically hang back, get cover until the Thermites reload. Looks like that enemy in the great, it looks like a fellow or an enemy Orochi this fire. Okay, I lost target there. I'm going to activate my stuff so he can't target me with his ability. And it looks like he probably will win. But I've gotten a good shot there with the Thermites. So he was probably turning to heal up here quickly. Can I activate my ability? Come on. Let's go. Okay, cool. So fortunately I was able to get out of that situation. But I don't think we'll have much recording here with this setup. I'm going to die. Okay, so it wasn't too bad, but let's go in for another game. Okay, so this is take 2 or video number 2 of the Thermites. As you saw there, I didn't get a chance to really test out the weapons, but you can see there in the previous battle, the Thermites are at a disadvantage, because if you come face to face with the enemy, you're in a tricky situation, because you can't really fight back, because the Thermites take time to reload and take time to lock, so not effective for brawling. So really the aim is to keep back while you fight. So this map is ideal for this setup. Let's I think what I want to do really is stay away from this center beacon, because it's just too open for this setup. And well, let's go in. Let's see if we can target some players. So we have a Hawk that's fire. So you can see we've got some good hits there with the Thermites. We're all in the 350 meter range. Let's quickly activate an ability. Okay, so what I want to do now, I want to run back for cover, because this is just too much heat for me, I suppose. But I suppose we can take cover over here behind this building. So I think with this setup, let's activate the ability and fire. There you go. So we got a bit of a hit on that Nightingale before he took off. And so now we're waiting for the ability to charge. Someone has used Deathmark on me. So I'm going to run back here for cover. Okay, I'll just heal here pretty quick before I take on too much damage from all this. So, right, there's an incoming leech. I'm going to activate my ability as soon as he stops leeching. So there we go. Okay, so this player used phase shift to completely block out my Thermites. But let's see if we can go for a shot. Okay, cool. Teammate took him out. Nightingale's back. And there's another leech. Okay, cool. So that leech there has got Deathmark. I'm going to get away from him. So, as you can see, I am trying to basically stay alive here with this setup. Heating up again. It's a pulsar setup. And he took me out. So, yeah, it's a pretty tricky setup. You really have to play with a bit more skill there and try to stay in cover, so you don't die like I do. So it was the map is pretty open, but I think with the Thermites you need good cover to be able to hide, reload, and let the Orochi's ability recharge. Because I think what you really want to do is, if you're in that situation, you want to basically activate the ability and then fire a Thermite and then retreat back into cover. So overall, I think it can be a fun setup, but it requires a bit of skill to be quite effective. And like I said, the Thermites don't always hit the target, because robots are pretty fast these days. So unless the robot is stationary or is on lockdown, you won't have a lot of luck with hitting the enemy with 100% accuracy. But let's try a different setup. We have the Nucleons. Looks a bit whack. I have a futuristic Nucleon and a normal Nucleon. and the levels are pretty low, so level 3 and 5. And let's see what this setup is like. I reckon it will be like the Avengers. You have to really pay attention to targeting your enemy. So let's jump in with the Orochi here with the Nucleons, and these weapons have a 500 meter range, and there's no reload, but they do overheat, which means that once the weapons overheat, the targeting goes off. So you have to wait a couple of seconds for the weapons to cool down before you can fire again. But if you have the pilot Sam Stone, you don't suffer from this overheating, which is really awesome. And I don't think you can get a Sam Stone anymore because it was a special pilot. Right, so we have a Spectra there. What I want to do is sort of go back, use my ability to just hide away. There's too many enemies. I don't think I could take on those players with these low level Nucleons, but let's see. This guy's got a heal up. Activate stealth. I'm locked down still. And that John I think has Yang Li because he was able to target me with his weapons. So okay, so this is fairly low level. Okay, let's do some damage to this robot here. So okay, it's getting close. Okay, so you can see the weapons overheating there. Want to heal up again so I don't die. What is that? Leech. Yeah, it's a leech, so let's hide. Let's outflank him on his left side. Activate the ability, get some stealth in there. Let's just keep firing. Apply the pressure. Cool. Okay, cool. So I think with this setup, really, you know, you've got the range of 500 meters, but you want to get up close because once you start overheating, you can still hit the enemy and have good 100% hit rate. Whereas if you're pretty far away from the enemy, 500 meters or less, as the weapon overheats, you will lose targeting. So let's just let's try to take this Fenrir down. Well, I'm waiting for mobility attack. Okay, cool. So I'm in a danger zone here because my ability will run out pretty soon. So we can see here my weapon's about to overheat. We were able to help. We were able to assist my teammate with taking out that Fenrir. Let's see if we can take out this Ravana here. So there's quite a lot of teammates there. Okay, he's not sure who to target, but he's going for the Scorpion. He's got two Scorpions there with sonic weapons, which a lot of people hate. Okay, cool. I think we have. So either a Typhoon, Cerberus, or a okay, cool. So right. Okay, just heal up here. What I want to do is get away from this hawk the minute he gets in touch with my robot. But we're gonna. Cool. Here we go. Activate ability. Let's. Right, this player is using the shield. Let's get up pretty close to this hawk. Let's see if we can. He's using his shield really well here. Let's see if we can run around in circles. Yeah, okay, took him out, not bad. So as you saw there, the weapon was overheating because we were brawling. It wasn't a problem. But let's have a look at this enemy over here. And bear in mind, these Nucleons are pretty low level. But then again, I don't know what the levels are for these robots, so they might be pretty low level enemies, to be honest. But you can see we'll let this thing overheat. Don't be mind. Because we're brawling pretty close up. We're going to get hits all 100%. Not a problem. There we go. And we have enemies on the approaching. So let's activate the ability. It's a Fenrir. So what I really want to do is get away from this guy because he's taking me out. I haven't got enough health to heal up quickly. Hide again around the corner. Okay, so let's go for another kill. Right, we're gonna die here because I'm gonna run out of health, and I'm suppressed by that invader. Ah, so close to activating the ability. So that wasn't too bad. I think again with these weapons, the Nucleons, if they're leveled up, they might be quite effective. So that went better than what I thought I'd expected. So just to summarise, so with the Nucleons, you've got a 500 meter range, and the minute the weapons overheat, the less you are likely to hit the enemy because not hitting on target. But that's not a problem for the Orochi if you plan to brawl. So pretty good setup. But let's try something else now. We have the Vipers on this Orochi, which look pretty cool. And the Vipers have a 500 meter range and they do dot damage. Reload time is pretty long, I think. Let's have a quick look at that. The reload time is 10 seconds. So I think that's enough time to recharge the ability for the Orochi. So a quick look at the reload speed is 18 seconds. So I suppose it's not too bad. But let's jump in with this and see what we can do. So the Vipers have always been quite annoying for me. The sound they make is quite irritating. I used to have them on my Ojon, but then I swapped them out for the Avengers because they were leveled up. But the reality really is that as long as your weapons are leveled up, they will be pretty effective. And I guess it just depends on your playstyle. So I like ranged weapons, so you know the Vipers are pretty cool for me. They've got a 500 meter range, which ticks that box, and they do dot damage, and they're quite irritating for the enemy. So that's even better. So let's just capture this beacon. That's a scorpion. Is it scorpion? Might be scorpion. It's a tear, I think, or a no. It's looks like a Fafnir. So that's a good point. The Fafnir looks very similar to Tear, the build. So there we go, 500 meter range. Let this player with some cover. He has got stellar wasps on his robot. Okay, hope is a Fafnir. Otherwise it might be a leech, which isn't good. Cool, so here we go. Let's activate the ability. Let's just ignore this Ravana here. Okay, let's get the bit again, the leech there. There we go, we didn't get damage to him. Dot damage as well. Okay, cool, he's gone to cover. So let's get this little Loki here. And that's the great thing about the Orochi, such a small robot. You're able to hit robots like the Loki. So you can see I'm hitting him. Or I was hitting him, but he's taken a strategic stance. Okay, I think he wants to commit suicide. You could try pushing him into the acid here. Or maybe not. Okay, let's not muck around with this. Let's do some damage to what is that? Shell. Okay, the leech is leeching onto me. Get back away from this leech, get away from him. Fire, there we go, the reload time, or 10 seconds for the Vipers. Okay, we can just go with the robots. So let's just let's take out this Loki here. Yeah, 10-second reload. I'm just going to stalk this Loki to stop him from capping our beacons. But there's a leech over there who I think wants to kill me. But we might be able to do some damage to him. There we go. Cool, we're getting some hits. Okay, he's leeching. That's the only thing I don't like about the Scarab leech, is that you can't really tell whether it's leeching or not, because it's got the gold link there, whereas the normal leech has a pink, like the link. You can blatantly tell the difference. Okay, so I'm just going to activate my ability to get some rockets onto this little leech here. Doing a fair bit of damage. Okay, and he destroyed himself, which is fair, fine. Okay, what's he spawning with? He's clearly coming this way. Oh great, it's no John with Yang Li, and I think he has lockdown. No, he doesn't. Great, cool. So what I did there was I realised that this robot probably had Yang Li, which is a pilot, or quantum radar. You notice that when an Ojon approaches you while you're in stealth mode, you know he's probably got the pilot Yang Li or the quantum sensor. So we're going to capture. He's got a 30-second reload time for the ability. We want to quickly go in and out. Oh, brilliant! Here we go. There's a Ares. Let's take it. There we go. And I think this going to heal. So there you go. That Ojon came for blood. So again, that build wasn't too bad, I suppose. It's a ranged build. I suppose the problem with the Viper is that you can't really get through shield and stuff. but it's not a huge problem. It's not a hit with me. I mean, you know, it's okay for 500 meters range. You're always going to be on target. It's not like the calamities, where the closer you are, the more damage you do. So you're always going to get 100% shots and damage onto the bot that you're firing at within 500 meters range. But I don't think I'll run that as my daily driver. So let's try a different setup. Okay, so we're back with this next build, which is my favorite, which is the Incinerator weapons. If they're new, they're basically rocket weapons with flamethrowers, and you basically build up a charge to a point where, for example, your rockets hit the enemy and you have to build up a charge like a bomb, which basically explodes. It's called the blast charge. So it's really cool, really effective setup, and I reckon probably in the future they'll probably get nerfed, unfortunately. But at the moment, the incinerators are my go-to weapons for this build. So we can see the fairly high level of level 9, and it's my favorite setup, you can tell. So let's jump in straight in with the incinerators here. So again, with this build, it's a 500 meter range with the weapons. Bear in mind the inbuilt weapon for the Orochi is 350 meters, so either way you can have some fun with the setup. Right, so let's go in for the center beacon quickly, and I think we're gonna die. This was a wrong move. There's an enemy incoming. Okay, so it looks like the show also has these new weapons. Let's do some side shooting over here. Okay, cool. So quickly, I actually should have cut that beacon. He's fairly high level, so what I want to do is escape and heal up a little bit. Right, teammate got him. That's good. So we've got a 500 meter range with this, so we can always stay back like this and keep our distance. But you can see with the weapon, that bomb icon on top of the enemy builds up with the more shots you hit on target. So just do it again. There we go. There we go. So we've now got the bomb, but he has gone into use his ability. So he basically was able to overcome the blast from the incinerator. So we have a fellow Orochi, but it looks like he has glaciers on him, sinister glaciers, and I think he might offload. Let's activate the ability. So you can see his charge is about to explode because I got the shots on him, and unfortunately he's being targeted by the John, so he died pretty quickly. So that's one of the biggest problems with the Orochi. It is a squishy robot, and bots that can lock you down can take you out in one go. Okay, cool. So we've got a Yang Li, I think. Luckily, I'm out of the range of those redeemers of 350 meters. So that's the other great thing about the Orochi, is that you can make a quick getaway and always keep an eye out for what weapons the enemy has, so you have a strategic advantage of knowing how to overcome another player. So there we go. So here's the John with the redeemers. Again, just to get away from this guy. Wow, really high level actually. So I barely escaped from him. So that part is pretty leveled up with the redeemers. So let's see if we can take him out. Okay, so activate the ability, get those missiles firing. I think I've got 10 seconds before he activates his flight. So cool, we killed him. Brilliant. Got that robot. Got a revenge. So let's go for this player here with the Ravana. Let's just target him the minute he comes out of Transcendence, which is his ability, and he has a pulsar set up. But I think he had... Oh, he got me there. I don't know whether he got me by chance. It's because sometimes you can target a robot when they're in stealth, like the Loki, and you can hit them. So that wasn't too bad, but I have to admit the Incinerators is my favourite build, because you have that range of 500 meters, and the fact that you can deal additional damage with the rockets when you build up that bar for the bomb. So so this Ravana here has pulsers, and I think he's gonna die. There you go. So something. But let's try a different setup. Right, so for this setup we have the new weapon, the Hell, which is similar to the Calamity, as in I think it's electricity, but it also freezes the enemy. One thing that I noticed with this weapon is that when you empty the clip, you don't have to wait for it to reload, as in you don't wait 5 seconds, so you can wait like a second or two and it just keeps firing. Whereas the Calamities and the Scourge and the Spark, they're, you know, like the conventional electric weapons is what I call them, or lightning weapons. You have to wait for a reload. So you can, so for this weapon you can see it says reloads while firing, similar to rockets. And unfortunately these are pretty low level, level 3 and level 2, but they do look pretty damn good on this robot. So let's go for a test drive. Oh, let's cancel that. Let's quickly go back. I think the range for these weapons is 600 meters, just like the Calamity. But I don't know whether or not the closer you are, the more damage you do with these weapons. I think that might be the case, but let's jump into battle here. So I think it might be very similar to the Calamities in the sense that the closer you are, the better they perform. But let's jump in straight in with the Hell setup here. So remember, a fairly low level to be honest, but the great thing about these weapons is that they freeze, so you probably want to pick these over the Calamities in all honesty. And I think, ooh, look, that's quite interesting. The lock speed is really quick compared to the Calamities, so that's another advantage I'm seeing already with this setup. Yeah, lock speed is really fast, so okay, so I can see why these are replacing the conventional lightning weapons. Let's activate my stealth and go for this. Let's freeze him. So I think the effect accumulate, you can see there, we are accumulating some effect, which is pretty cool. Okay, so I mean, I can say off the back, commanders, that if you are going for a setup and you're figuring out where we should go for the Calamities or the Hell, you need to go with the Hell, because the lock speed is pretty quick. Let's heal up. Let's get out of cover actually. So let's get to cover. Sorry. So the good thing about this weapon, from what I can tell, is reload speed. You can fire while it's reloading. It's got a good range of 600 meters, and it's got an effect which freezes the enemy. So I think this might be one of my other favourite setups to the Incinerators, if I'm honest. Let's activate quickly there. So I don't know how much damage I'm doing to the robots, to be honest, with this setup, because my teammates are pretty on point with applying pressure to the team, but we can freeze Dibio, frozen, so he's sort of like slowed down a bit. Let's see if I could skirt around left and right. So what I want to do is get away from that Ravana. I have another ability charge, that's not too bad. So okay, cool. So is an incoming though, John. I know he's gonna get me. He's got a pilot skill. So oh, so close. I need to activate my ability. So it's a very short video, but I could say this much. Definitely don't use the Calamities. You need to use the Hell weapons for this build. So pretty good. So just like the Calamities, you know, it's got a 600 meter range, and you can, you know, if you like range firing, pretty effective. But I suspect the closer you are, the more damage you can do. But let's try a different setup. I have the Ember and the Glory, and both weapons are level 8. So a bit of a trippy setup. The Glory has a 500 meter range, and the Ember, I believe, is 350. So I think with this setup, the strategy is to basically lock down the enemy with the Glory and then burn them. So this might be pretty effective. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But again, so for this setup to be effective, I need to be within 350 meter range of the enemy. So let's give this a go. Let's see what we can do. So let's see what we can do with this one. I think with this setup, I really want to stick with the enemy, with my teammates, and ambush the enemy together, rather than going solo, 1-to-1. So this is a close-up brawler setup to be fair. And the problem with the glory is they were nerfed a while back with the effect accumulation, so they can lock the enemy down, and the spread. So we go really cool. So let's can we lock him down? So see that I'm doing some damage to this bot still. So that's the great thing about the Ember, is that the reload time is pretty quick, but we can still fire with the glory. So that's not too bad, but I need to basically get out of this situation. Let's do some damage to this guy here. Oh, there's a Yangli John coming. Okay, he's done. Oh god, here we go. Oh, dead. Okay, so I wasn't really aware of the situation there, but there were too many enemies. But that's a pretty good setup. I might go again with another game, see if we can be a bit more effective with how we play with this setup. Okay, so take 2 with the Orochi and the Ember and Glory setup. So in the previous clip, it was pretty cool actually, using the Glory to lock down the enemy, and using the Ember to sort of burn the players. But unfortunately, I was caught off guard there and was ambushed by the enemy team. So we'll try to stick with my teammates there and see what kind of damage we can do. So to sort of regroup with my teammates there. Okay, cool. So, okay, I think the players are pretty low level to be fair, and I am running out, so I need to heal up here quickly, let my ability recharge to get away from this Falcon. But I think we can take out this. Okay, cool. So this Falcon is stalking me. I want to die. So it wasn't too bad. I think this build might be quite fun if it's leveled up. So although those weapons are level 8 and 9, I mean the build really forces you to brawl with the enemy, so close up within 350 meters. In order for the Ember to hit the enemy and do some damage. So I'd probably pin that as a possible good build for the Orochi. But let's try a different setup. I think I'm going to try the Zeus here, like I've got on my Cerberus, and see how fun that build is. Okay, so for this setup I have the Zeus cannons, which used to be my favourite. I had them on my Behemoth, 4 of them, done a fair bit of damage, but as you sort of progress you realise you have to level up the weapons pretty high for them to become effective. So that's true for all the weapons, but let's give this Orochi with the Zeus weapons a go. So the Zeus cannons have a 600 meter range, and they lock onto the target, so there's a pretty slow lock on speed unless you have that skill to improve the lock speed. So let's this actually looks like a carnage. So okay, cool. We're gonna... Where are my teammates? Okay, because we've got the range, the good thing about the Zeus cannon is... Okay, I think there's an incoming scorpion. Or not. Okay, yeah, the good thing about the Zeus cannon is that you don't need to be closer to do more damage. So it will do the maximum amount of damage within that 600 meter range. So it's ideal if you like keeping back. And the great thing with the Orochi is that you can activate your stealth to stay alive. So like this, for example, there we go. I can target that Ojo. So I activate my ability, got my stealth, fired my weapon. And the reload speed is 5 seconds, which isn't too bad. Okay, so this Ojon is hiding behind the pillar, doing a bit of side shooting, which is a good strategy. Unfortunately, you can't do that with the Orochi because the weapons are at the top, and it looks like there's a Scorpion here. Oh, it's a Loki, it's a covert Loki. Okay, he's taken care of. So as you can see, I'm not brawling. I'm basically keeping my distance from the enemy because there's no reason for me to brawl, with the exception of wanting to use my inbuilt weapon. That's when I have to get closer to the enemy. So let's try to take him out. Still kill. Oh, we didn't still kill. That's fine. We have a Mercury here. There we go. He's phase shifted there, saved himself from the Zeus cannon, but I think I got a bit of damage there before he died. Okay, so we have an Imperial Hades, I believe. Is it Imperial? Looks Imperial. Luckily, he hasn't got a quantum radar. So we're going to flank him on his right side, which is our left. Here we go. So we're going to try to circle around him. Unfortunately, I'm in danger zone because I haven't got stealth. But I need to activate my healing here. But we were able to kill him by getting in within his shield. So that was pretty cool. So as you can see, I've survived quite a bit. And that's part in part because of the strategy that I'm using with this robot and this weapon setup. I can basically stay 600 meters away from the enemy and still do some damage. No idea what activate my ability here, but might as well roll with it. Okay, so he has got magnums on there, so it's a really powerful setup. I have that same setup on my Blitz. Now I'm in danger zone because I'm too close to this guy, but I think we can last stand him with the weapon. Like suppress me. So I want to fire as soon as his last stand finishes. There we go, killed him, perfect. So I've got quite a bit of health still. So either these enemies are pretty low level, or this setup is, and this playstyle is quite effective. So far it's pretty good. Like I said, I enjoy ranged gameplay. We're gonna fire him as soon as he comes out of the ability. That hawk, there we go, got him. Let's activate inbuilt weapon to do some more damage to this hawk. Oh, this is a danger zone because there's too many enemies there. So what I really want to do is just try to help take out the hawk. Okay, cool. So I need to find some cover now. I'm gonna heal up. So the minute I can get some cover, I'm gonna basically run away from these enemy players. Okay, so this is very bad. So much for standing back. That was unlucky. Okay, cool. So this setup is pretty good. As I said, it's got a pretty long range, 600 meters, so you don't need to brawl. And unfortunately, I fell into the trap there by pushing forward. That's when the team gets a bit confident. But obviously, too many enemies for me to take on with a Zeus cannon setup. But I'm going to roll with something really weird after this game, so let's jump straight into the next build. Okay, so my camera has run out of battery, so there's no camera or no video of me, but we still have footage of me playing. So in this setup, I have Trident, which looks really weird, and straight off the bat, it's going to be crap because the Tridents, although you can shoot while you reload, it's a very slow reload time. So again, with this setup, you got a pretty good range of 600 meters, but the inbuilt weapon of the Orochi is 350 meters. And the trouble with the Tridents, just like all rockets, is that you have to get them on target, otherwise they're useless. So let's just give this setup a go. I haven't got any high hopes for this build, to be honest. Very similar to a video that I did with the Bulwark build, which you can probably find. I'll put a link in the description. I think the difference between the Orochi and the Bulwark is obviously the shield. In some shape or form is better for brawling. So the Bulwark has an inbuilt shield and an Aegis shield, which might make it ideal for brawling with certain weapons, but let's try to do so. Okay, so We've got a couple of shots in for that leech before he activates his ability. Let's okay, so for this setup, again, we don't need to brawl unless we want to use an inbuilt weapon. So we've got a couple of shots there. Get that enemy on target. So right, I'm going to activate my stealth. Let's totally missed my shot there, but let's see if I could take out this Orochi that was trying to capture our beacon. I'm going to activate my ability. Okay, so this looks like a pretty powerful player. He's got last stand. Right, so dead. So, so yeah, okay. So obviously the Trident isn't really effective for brawling, as you saw there. You sort of have to play with a strategy of basically keeping your distance. Otherwise, when robots catch up with you, you have no chance. So in that respect, I don't recommend you really use the Trident weapons unless you're good with using them and ranged sort of sniping. I have the Orochi with the Thunder setup. So this was, I think this is the standard build that you get when you get an Orochi, and a lot of people still run with the Thunder, so they're pretty effective. The reason being, they're shotguns, and with the Orochi we found that it's a very, it's the sort of bot that you want to brawl with for close range, which is pretty effective. So I reckon the Thunders will be quite good to use. So let's jump into a quick game. Straight in with the Orochi and the Thunders to see what kind of damage we can do with this setup. Again, pretty low level 7 and 8 for each of my Thunders on here. And the aim is to brawl, whereas all the other setups I've sort of always kept back away from the enemy. But for this setup with the Thunders in particular, we want to get close up. So I think I'm going to wait for my teammates to capture some beacons, and then I want to stay with some teammates for a bit of backup. Good strategy. But two things to bear in mind. I believe there is a skill that you can get for the pilot that enables shot grouping, which means when you fire like this, most of the rounds will be on target. I posted a video about the shotgun nerf for the Titans, and in there I kind of explain the change or nerf that was applied to the Titans, to the Titan Grom weapons. It's the same thing with the Thunders really, when they nerfed it, but you can get a skill which helps with that. So let's go in for this kill here. See if I could get this kill. Okay, so teammate got him. Okay, danger zone, let's start firing. Oh cool, we're within the shield. I want to heal up here. Can I get this kill? Oh, so close. So that was pretty bad on my part. So what I'll do is I'll run another game where I'm a bit more aware of my surroundings. Okay, so this is the second game that we're going to try it with, again with the Thunders. And I think with this setup again, we just need to play with a bit more strategy, which can be quite effective. But look, we have a fellow Orochi with the same setup, so I might actually stick with this player. Thunderous Orochis, Ori Thunder. Okay, so let's copy what this guy's doing. Let's just use our ability to get into the beacon. Oh, healing up there. I'm just hiding away from this Ares ability, but I'm going for the kill now. Oh, so much lag, wow. Oh, got taken out by this shell. So that wasn't too bad, I reckon. I reckon with the Thunder, if you play like, obviously I wasn't playing with skill there, but if you play with a bit more skill, it might be a bit more effective, to be honest. But the trouble is that you have to be pretty much point blank with the shotguns. So if you don't mind brawling in that respect, getting super close to the enemy, that might be pretty effective. But also bear in mind the thunders are really powerful once you have the shot grouping pilot skill and level them up to like Mark 2, level 12 or Mark 3. But let's go in with our secret build. Let's jump into that right now. It's a surprise for you guys, but let's see what we can do with that build. Okay, so this is my secret build. This is a Titan destroying build. It's the best in the world. And as you can see, I have 2 Ansal shields. I'm going to rely on the inbuilt weapons to do all the damage to the enemy. But hopefully in this game, most of the robots, the enemy robots, have rockets. So my shields would work pretty well. But let's give it a go. Okay, cool. So okay, this is a pretty good map for this setup. Again, this is our silly setup with the shields. Bit pointless. People are going to see this thinking, what the hell? Okay, let's just fly in. There we go. We overtook the Typhon. We jumped over his head, which is really cool. With the skates. My team are probably thinking, what an idiot. I don't blame them. Don't run this setup. It's really stupid. Okay, cool. So the perfect shields would be for this situation where we have these new weapons. I'm just going to hold. Just going to camp over here and protect my teammates from some of those rocket weapons. You can see that I don't doing any. Am I even protecting the team? So what I might do is activate my ability. There's some shots in there. There we go. Lovely jubbly. My shields are doing a pretty good job at blocking out all those rockets for my teammates. Activate the ability again. We're going to go for this. Oh god, tried to go for this Fenrir. Okay, so I'm just going to stand over here, hopefully protect some of my teammates from rocket shots. So if I hide here behind this shield, yeah, you can see my shield regenerating pretty quickly, to be honest. So that's pretty cool. I didn't think I'd last this long. Okay, here we go. So activate my ability. Oh, he's also got a shield. That's his drone, I think. Oh, I'm being leeched on. Damn it. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is heal up. Oh, there's an invader who has taken out my shields. And, okay, cool. So, let's activate the ability again. Let's do some damage. I need to get away from this invader because he's taking out my shield there fairly easily with his rockets, and I think he's got a shotgun on there. Or a rocket. Yeah, it's complete. Yes, that's interesting. I think my shield is protecting me from the sonic weapons. That's really cool. Okay, so that invader literally just jumped off the map. That was hilarious. Right, we're going to go in. Remember, the inbuilt weapon has a 350 meter range, so there's no point in activating my ability unless I want stealth. And what do we have here? We have enemy. There we go. Let's activate the ability. Get those rockets in from the inbuilt weapon. Perfect. Okie dokie. So it looks like the shield so far has actually taken quite a lot of hits for my teammates. So I'm just going to hang over here with my... But let's follow this Falcon. Give him some support with the shields, which are working to some point, I guess. Okay, so we're doing a lot of... we're oh, how did he die? We'll activate stealth there, do some damage with the inbuilt weapon to this Minos. It looks like they put damage, do some real damage to this player. So I don't know whether there's any enemies here that I could protect with my shield. Oh, perfect! There's a shotgun Titan coming in. Can I protect him? Right, I'm going to activate my stealth. so I can sort of escape. This is actually really strange. I'm finding I've actually survived quite a lot with this setup. So we've got to provide some Ansal shield cover for this Titan over here. And hopefully we can regen the shield pretty quick. Yeah, so I'm probably supporting my teammate here with my oh no! Oh, that was awesome. I got knocked off the map by the Minos, and I lasted about 4 minutes, so that's pretty impressive, to be honest. So I wasn't expecting to survive so long, but it looks like with this matchmaking we were facing a lot of enemy robots with rocket or machine gun weapons, which explains why I was surviving for such a long time. Yeah, so to summarise, I think my favourite weapons are obviously going to be the Incinerators, because the rockets explode and they accumulate this sort of bomb damage. So once you fill that bar, the enemy gets an explosive bit of damage to them and the surrounding enemy teammates within that circle. And I think my second build that I might expand on is the Hell build, which was the equivalent of the Calamity, but it also has a freeze ability and the lock speed is really quick. And then my third probably favourite setup will probably be the Avenger, and then shortly followed by the Redeemers. Anything else I wouldn't really recommend. I mean, the Avalanche was fairly good for a 500 meter range. I definitely don't recommend the Trident. Pretty useless. But if you want to have fun and troll a little bit, the Ansal shields, what you saw there, was pretty good. But that was it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Click the like, click the thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell button. If you have any requests for robot builds or tests, just drop me a comment and I will see what I can do. Okay, see ya.